It makes it very challenging, makes it even more challenging because this is very likely rain wrap. Because if I put the reflectivity on, you can see that's all rain that we see there. Okay, so that's why we're relying on the velocity mode, and that's indicating a pretty decent notch that is located, like we said, right about there. Let's see if I can get that arrow back on here. Boom, right there. That's what we're really watching very carefully. I'm going to see if I can go and adjust the map myself here. We'll put back the polygon, and then we're going to go ahead and put a tracker on this as well. I'm going to move it out just a little bit more, and we'll put a tracker on this right about here, okay? And we're moving it in this on the northeast, okay? Moving toward the northeast. So we're talking about a situation here where it could very likely impact Andalusia, and even the Quad Cities. Andalusia in less than just about 10 minutes from now, and around the Quad Cities itself in about less than a half an hour, if it holds its own, okay? If it keeps a steady motion, and if it can keep that circulation, it could very likely will be impacting the immediate Quad Cities, all right? That's kind of what we're looking at when it comes to this. Like I said, numerous warnings that are popping up within this particular line, and a lot of it has to do with the shift in the winds that we're seeing from the surface as well as the loft. We have a couple of boundaries nearby. We have a strong area of low pressure just west of these warnings that you see right here. So all that mixing together is helping produce that circulation that is taking place across the area. Let's see if I can get some more information from our friends at the National Weather Service. They're noticing that those couplets that we just showed you are tightening up and heading toward the Quad Cities itself. This has been more of a strengthening trend that we have been noticing, and it is expected to continue given the times that we just mentioned. So what we mentioned about the immediate Quad Cities itself, we're talking in near the bottom of the hour. So I would say in about 20 minutes or so, if you're watching us from the immediate Quad Cities, it's time for you to go to your safe place, okay? Hopefully you have your phone with you. We are also on our Storm Track 8 app. You can be interactive with the app itself to actually show where you are in relationship to the storm itself. So that's a very handy tool to have, especially in your safe place. There is that possibility. We could be talking about maybe some power outages that may happen within this line itself. We haven't had any reports as of yet. Hopefully we'll get that from the news department itself if we are getting any power outages as well. There is a deputy out in Greenbush, around Greenbush, from a deputy that said that there is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground near Greenbush itself. So let me see let me go here. I'm going to go here and here. Let's see here. Going here. Boom, and good. Give me a second, folks. And we'll find out where. And that is, let's see if I go here. It could be right there on the border itself. It's just south and west of Abington itself. So we're going to go into, like I said, we got so many warnings that we're out here. But right around Greenbush itself, this is probably likely what we're dealing with just south and west of, looks like Galesburg itself is likely we're seeing some type of a notch going on here. And I would say it's probably right around here. I'll get the arrow out here, and I guess I can show you guys this. It's right about here, I would say. That's where we're seeing a tornado that's actually on the ground. It's just north and east of Roseville itself, okay? So that's kind of what we're concerned about with that part of the storm. Just south and east, of course, the Monmouth area, but that is what we're concerned about here when it comes to the fact that there is a tornado that is actually on the ground itself. Once again, I'll show you the arrow. as to where we're looking at. Right about here is where we're likely seeing some type of circulation going on. So if you're watching us over in Galesburg, even though you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, you're likely going to have the sirens go off where you are, given that spin up that we are seeing, that couplet that we're noticing. So around 8:19, in 10 minutes or so, that part of the storm that has had a report of a tornado that's on the ground, it will be impacting you in 10 minutes if it does hold together, okay? If it does hold together. So you're probably hearing the sirens. It's important that you do get to your safe place. I want to go over, if you're just joining us here, you can see we got a numerous amount of warnings that we have here that just keep piling up here one after the other, making sure that everyone is well informed of the situation that is taking place. And like I said, if you're hearing any of the ringing going on, it's the information that I am getting from our friends at the National Weather Service. And once again, I'm going so any pauses that you hear from me is because I am looking at the new information that is coming from our friends at the National Weather Service. So once again, let's kind of see if we can gel all this together for you, because like I said, we're getting some fair weather, I would say fair weather, but fair warning out to anyone that is going to be impacted by this particular line. Let's kind of show you this, once again, the tornado warnings that we have that does include the immediate Quad cities. We're kind of watching a notch that is producing some type of circulation. I would say it's probably right about there, and it's moving off to the north and east. And like I said, around Edgington, Andalusia, parts of Davenport, even around Eldridge, okay, you are under this particular part of our tracker that has this possible spinning that it may be going on within that particular line. Okay, so that's what we're worried about with this tornado warning that is out for areas around the immediate Quad cities and points south and west until about 8:45 or so. And then, of course, we have this tornado warning out for areas to our south. Not seeing much as far as any circulation. Once again, this is in velocity mode that we see here, and we're not seeing any type of circulation that I see in velocity mode, so that is some good news. They're very likely cancel this tornado warning for parts of Mercer County here in just a little bit. So that's some fairly good news. And then, of course, we have this tornado warning out for parts of Warren County until about 8:45. Fortunately, there are no major towns that are involved in this part of the warning itself, but we could very likely see this extend into Knox County, which includes towns such as Galesburg, Henderson, and even parts of, I think, Rova country. So Victoria, Altona, that could be a potentially news for you when it comes to maybe updating or even upgrading your severe thunderstorm warning to very likely a tornado warning. So once again, we're talking about this line that we see right here that is making its way off to the north and east. So once again, Galesburg, 8:23. So just about 10 minutes for you from now. Watauga, that's part of Rova country. We're talking about maybe 20 minutes or so. Cameron, it's already impacting you as we speak, if not the threat actually coming to an end for you. Okay? That's what we're dealing with this particular line that we have right here. Once again, we want to apologize for everyone who may be missing programming on here in our network, but this is a very rare and a very dangerous situation that is going on with this line of storms that continue to make their way off to the north and east. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. These thicker polygons, these thick yellow polygons, is indicating that within this line, a brief tornado could actually pop up as well. At least there is a possibility for that. And already we've seen that in areas just south of the Quad cities, including parts of Mercer, going into Rock Island County, and farther south in parts of Warren County as well. Okay, so that's why we're really concerned. We're talking about property damage here. We're talking about, maybe, hopefully never like we want to get into, but loss of life as well. We want to make sure that everyone is in their safe place. Okay, that's what we're concerned about with this very rare situation that we're seeing here with these numerous warnings that are popping up. And once again, National Weather Service, they're the ones that issue these warnings. I want to see if I can see if we can actually zoom into this warning here. I don't want to get involved with that tornado warning there, but this severe thunderstorm warning that we have here is until 9:15. 9:15, which covers not only parts of Scott County, but also Clinton County as well, and of course into northern Rock Island County. Okay, that's what we're concerned about. You probably are dealing with just some rain going on, but if you but the reason why we're extending these warnings out is to give you fair warning, because these storms are moving so quickly out of the north and east. You can see that the winds shaded in the green, like I said, this is velocity mode. In the green, it's moving toward the radar site. The red is indicating moving away from the radar site. So there is, and we're kind of dealing with a triple point here with a warm front kind of located just north of the Quad Cities itself. We have a cold front that is located just south and west of the Quad Cities. That's why we're seeing this particular line. And then you're dealing with an area of low pressure just out to the west. So this is what we're concerned about. This is what we kind of call a triple point, where we're dealing with so much tightening going on within this line, parts of the line itself, that we are seeing these brief spin-ups that are popping up. Okay, it's very rare that you get in this triple point, this intersection of the boundaries and area of low pressure. That's where we can see the challenge that goes on here as far as getting these warnings out and why these warnings are actually being issued. Okay, and it's very distinct. You can see, and I picked the watches and warnings out here. You can see where that line is, where that cold front is. If I had to go ahead and draw that line itself, let me see if I can get that line going here. The cold front itself is actually located. Oh, I put the wrong one up. I apologize, folks. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Okay, there is it. That's my little squiggly line right there. The cold front is likely right about here, and then you have a warm front that is likely right about here. And then just west of that, we are dealing with an area of low pressure right there, okay? So this is what we kind of call that triple point. That's why we're concerned about this change in wind speed and direction, not only at the surface, but also above as well. So when you're dealing, so this is another reason why when you're dealing with this line, it's going to be a long-lasting line. It's not going to break down so much. So that's why we're concerned about the events that are going on within this particular line, and why we are with you on this coverage that is taking place. Let me go and put the warnings back on. Once again, all the pinging that you're hearing is from our friends at the National Weather Service, and likely the pinging is going on because of the cancellation of the warnings that are just off to our south and west. If you might have heard me, the cold front is coming on through, so anywhere west of that cold front is likely where these parts of the warnings are being canceled. That we're seeing in Louisa, that already canceled in Muscatine, parts of Mercer County, and even farther southward into Henderson, and even around Des Moines County as well. So anywhere of those counties I just mentioned, or parts of the counties I just mentioned, you are in the all clear. Okay, you are in the all clear. If you are ahead of that boundary, you are not in the clear, okay? Because we are dealing with a lot of convection going on. The dynamics have been really good along this boundary itself. So that's why we're a little concerned. Now, the polygon, the red polygon, that is indicating a tornado warning, that has shrunk a little bit, but it still impacts the immediate Quad Cities itself, okay? So we're kind of dealing with and I'll go ahead and put a tracker on this because that is what we do. We like to track storms. I'm going to put it right about here. Oh, let me see. Let me start this over again. I'm going to go ahead and put the polygon back on here. Boom. And let's see, I get that back on here. Right about there. And I go this way, okay, because that's where we're seeing this little couplet take place. And once again, just giving you an update on the timing here. but around, I'm looking at it's about 8:19 right now, so it's already impacting or close to Andalusia. Bluegrass, just a few minutes for you. Around the Quad Cities itself, we're just talking over 10 minutes. Over 10 minutes for the immediate Quad City, even around Bettendorf itself. 8:35, okay, so in about just over 15 minutes for you. If it holds together, our friends in Eldridge, it will be impacting you in just over 20 minutes or so, in just over 20 minutes, okay? So once again, if you're in the warnings, in this tornado warning, you hear the sirens are telling you to get to your safe place, okay? That is why we have these warnings that are going out. These are all filled with rain, so you cannot see it. So don't try and look for it. We do have, hopefully we do have some spotters out there that are professional spotters out there, veteran spotters that are out and about seeing what they can see with their eyes. But when you're dealing with a situation where the storms are almost just rain wrapped, it makes it very challenging, and you have to rely on the radar itself, okay, in these situations. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here with these polygons that are taking place. I would say this, folks, what we'll do is when the tornado warnings that we see here from areas around southern Warren County are canceled, as well as the immediate Quad Cities itself, then we will go to our News 8 Plus app. And hopefully you've already went ahead and installed that, because this is a situation where we feel like that we can go back to network and eventually continue with our coverage as well. It's been very, very popular during severe weather coverage. But when we're dealing with especially tornado warnings that are going on, this is where we go to network. And once again, I want to apologize for everyone out there breaking into coverage, but we're dealing with a very, very serious situation out here. When we're dealing with the line of storms that have winds in excess of 16 miles an hour that can cause some damage. And then when you throw in that wind that is turning very quickly and rapidly, that can enhance that damage as well. So that is why we are on coverage here on network, why we are giving you this information right now. Once again, we're getting information from our friends in the National Weather Service that the tornado warning for parts of southeastern Warren County, that has been canceled. So that is some very good news there. The severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect for until 8:30 for another 10 more minutes for Rock Island, northwestern Mercer County, eastern Cedar, west central Scott, south central Jones County, and northeastern Muscatine County. And that is until 8:30. Like I said, less than 10 more minutes or so. Nothing north of those warnings that we see. So if you're watching us in Jackson County, Carroll County, even around Joe Davies County, even for areas just north and east of the Quad Cities, like around Whiteside, no warnings have been issued for you as of yet. That is going to very likely change here in just a little bit, maybe in about 10 minutes or so. 10 or 20 minutes, I would say, we may start seeing some extension to that warning when it comes to this particular line. I'm going to go back to reflectivity, show you that, yeah, we're getting some pretty good rain out there. Some flashes of lightning that we're noticing more off to our north and west. But in some cases, you don't need a core of lightning to indicate where the worst part of the storm is. Okay, it's within that line, like we mentioned, that is producing some brief little spin-outs that may be going on. Once again, if we had to go ahead and draw that cold front, it's probably right about there. Okay, and that cold front is moving in this general direction itself. Okay, there's a warm front that is located probably right about here as well. So once again, we're dealing with a lot of circulation that is going on within this line, and it certainly is conducive in producing these brief spin-ups. Very challenging to find these. When you see one couplet, it may wobble a little bit and redevelop in another part of that line. So that makes it very, very challenging in finding out the actual area, the exact area where the spinning is taking place. Once again, I want to go back to velocity mode here and kind of zoom in. I'm going to put the warnings back on here as well, make it a little easier. Come on, there you go. There we go. That's what I want to see. And once again, I think we're just concerned about this area right now located right around the immediate Quad Cities itself. Okay, not getting much reports as far as any hail. I can show you that. If there is, it's very, very small, which we're noticing maybe right near Bluegrass and north of Andalusia. Might be dealing with some penny-sized hail here if it is reaching the ground. But the big concern that we're dealing with here is from this line is the wind, okay? And that's what we're really concerned about. Let's see what I'm getting here. Let's see. Just remind everyone in parts of, let's see, northeastern Warren and eastern Mercer County, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 9 p.m. Now 9 p.m. Let's see here. There was a typo, I guess, that was indicated over in Burlington, a potential tornado. It was actually more wind damage just outside the Burlington area. And with that in mind, we may be talking about even maybe some power outages that may be going on as well. I haven't heard anything from our news department regarding any power outages. Hopefully they are hearing me. And if they do, they're going to certainly let me know. But at this point, and even from the reports that getting from spotters or even from our friends at the National Weather Service, they have not heard anything as of yet. But the biggest concern that we have is that on the radar itself, that we are getting reports of some spin-ups that are been going on, especially right near the Quad Cities itself. It's just north of Edgington, I would say, and I would say just on the reflectivity mode itself, we're probably noticing it right about there. Okay, I would say right about there, right around Andalusia itself is where we're likely seeing some type of circulation that may be going on. And once again, if you're watching us in this warning, we're talking about this warning on for another 20 more minutes or so, about another 20 more minutes. Well, let's go. Let's see. I'm just hearing from my director in the booth that we have one of our cameras out. And you can see that rain is pretty steady. I think a lot of us would agree we really do need the rain out there. There are a lot of people that yesterday put down some grass seed, some good fertilizer, and now all you need is a good rain. And sure enough, like we saw early this morning, we're getting some of that rain again. But this makes it more challenging as far as spotters out there trying to determine the type of any type of circulation that may be going on. So this is making it very challenging, of course, being the time at close to 8:30, it's dark out there, and that makes it even riskier for spotters out there to actually determine what they are seeing. And that's kind of why we're relying on the information from the National Weather Service as well as what we're seeing here on our radar. Let's see. David says, we are continuing to monitor for a couple of more scans, but the circulation they're noticing is showing signs of maybe weakening. That is some good news. That is some good news indeed. So once again, velocity mode kind of showing not much going on. I'm still a little concerned that notch going on just north of Andalusia itself. So that is some good news, okay? This, once again, that severe thunderstorm warning out until 8:45. So I believe that once that warning comes to an end or is canceled earlier, then we are going to go to the News 8 Plus app and we'll continue our coverage that way, and then we just go back to networking. Going back farther south, remember that tornado warning that was out for Warren County? That has been canceled as well, but the severe thunderstorm warning continues with that line that you can see located in northwestern Knox County and northeastern Mercer County. That warning, like I said, is, as far as where that line is right. Oop, let's try this again. I was a very good drawer back when I was young. Okay, let's see if I get that line back up again. This is a line that indicates where maybe that cold front is located. Okay, that's the line that we're watching as it makes its way off to the north and east. Okay, so all we're getting from this line itself, not only some blinding rain, but likely from this line as well, we're probably getting a good rush of wind, but nothing that is circulating. So that is some good news that we see right there. Let's go ahead and once again, we'll make our way back to the north. And the only tornado warning that we have going on is this one, once again, located around the immediate Quad Cities. Likely we're hearing some sirens that are going off. We get a report, let's see here, of power outages, a power outage in parts of the Quad Cities itself. Let me see if I can actually pop up Mid-American here and see if I can get reports of any outages that may be going on. Hopefully it'll pop up here in just a little bit. Okay, I accept. And outages, view outages. It'll pop up here in just a little bit. Okay, well, the good news is I'm not seeing, at least when it comes to Mid-American, we're not seeing much as far as any power outages, just a couple of customers. That is some good news there. Really surprised, actually, given the reports of the strong winds and the heavy rain that's coming down from this. That is some really, really good news that we're noticing here. But once again, we only are relying on what we're seeing on the radar and relying on our friends with their radar to give us information as to what they're seeing from this part of the storm that is producing this potential spin up. Right now, there are signs that they're not showing much circulation that is taking place. That is some really good news that we're seeing here, folks. But we got another 15 more minutes of when this for this warning. And I think, like I said, once this warning comes to an end, we'll go to the News 8 Plus app and we'll continue our coverage that way. So hold on tight. We're going to make sure that we're all going to pretty much on the same page here when it comes to this part of the storm itself. But it's a concern that we have when it comes to the wind. Once again, it doesn't have to spin. It doesn't have to spin to produce damage, all right? If it's coming down very quickly from the top of the storm, because we have very strong winds aloft and some pretty cool air that's helping it, the density of it to drop down to the ground itself at a very rapid rate. And with that in mind, not only do you get the rainfall, and it helps bring down the heavy rain, the blinding rain that is going on, but it also can carry with it some very strong winds. All right, so that's kind of what we're seeing here with this. And what could happen here is we could get an update on this part of the storm that may be providing maybe an extension to the warning itself. And I think we're going to get that here. And it just popped up right here. Okay, let me see if I can put up the query here. And we can get an update on this one. I was probably going to go to the tornado warning, which I'm not surprised about that. But I'm going to try and make my way out of the warning itself. And it will kind of get us an idea. So 9:15 for this new severe thunderstorm warning, which has the potential within this line to maybe even maybe produce a brief spin up. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, we have the algorithm set up where if there's any indications that there could be some type of a brief spin up, is going to give us that possibility. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner, it says tornado development possible. That's when this yellow polygon actually kind of indicates that by being a little thicker, and that kind of gives us a sign right there that we're seeing that. So that's kind of what we're seeing. So we got two polygons going on, two warnings within the immediate Quad Cities. One, the tornado warning for another 13 more minutes, and then we got that severe thunderstorm warning that has been updated that covers pretty much most of Rock Island County, all of Scott County, and a good chunk of Clinton County, and that does include Clinton itself and even around DeWitt. I'm going to take the polygons off, the warnings themselves off, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the tracker on here, because this is the strongest part of the storm that we see here, and it's kind of moving in this general direction. And I'm going to make sure I get our friends in Clinton, excuse me, and Fulton as well. So in the Quad Cities, we're talking just minutes away for that to take place. And then you can see for Geneseo around 9 o'clock, Comanche and Clinton. I think this is the only line we have to be concerned about. Here's some good news, just happened now. The tornado warning for the immediate Quad Cities has been canceled. That is some great news. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to get the rest of the warnings that you see here. Let's see if I can get this back on here. Let's see. Give me a second here, folks. Jeff, who is director here in the booth, here at our station, we're going to go back to regular programming here in, I would say, in about 2 minutes or so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to continue with our coverage on our News 8 Plus app. If you don't have it, go ahead. It's free. And you can actually link it into your Amazon, your Roku, and your Apple TV. And you'll be able, it's very easy to do, and you'll be able to see the extended coverage that we have on our News 8 Plus app. So folks, thank you for being so patient when it comes to these warnings that have been going on. We're going to let you, any more updates, any more tornado warnings that do pop up, we're going to break in the network and give you all the details on that. Thanks for joining us, and we'll hope to talk to you soon, coming up on News 8 at 10.